Alright, welcome back to the SuperCoach Enough channel. In this video we're going to do the round 3 preview for NRL SuperCoach. Have a look at the most popular trade options, captain's options. Have a look at my moves this week, and also just have a bit of a preview of the head-to-head matchups in both the Classic and the draft format. So, bit of ground to cover. We'll get straight into the players and the most popular trade-ins we'll start with. So Joey Lossick clear at number 1, and I think, that's pretty accurate. Got the 80-minute roll there at the Eels now. Massive negative break even. So, it's going to make a lot of money quite quick. So I think, you have to find a way to get him in, even if it's not through the most desirable means of trading out, another cheapie that could make some money, or a proven gun. Terrell May at number 2. So again, another one. If you don't have him, get him in. He's going to make some good cash, particularly if you've got Payne Haas. You could downgrade there. Get Lussick in and then boost to, potentially upgrade elsewhere if you need to. Luke Brooks at number 3. So I think maybe a popular trade for Ezra Mam is one of the most popular trade outs this week. So I think that move makes sense. Otherwise, I wouldn't be trading him in at halfback unless you started with maybe like a Hutchinson at halfback on your bench. So probably is team dependent, but generally, those mid-price halves, I guess Brooks does offer the most value of them, but I think there's definitely cheaper options that will make more money. There's higher or more expensive options that will score more points. So, I understand why people are doing it, but I think the other two are higher priority. Zach Hosking at number 4, and so I think this is a fair indication of the balance that we need to consider. Whether we want to take his cash. He's projected to make over 100k in cash, but I think his projected score is probably a bit high for someone coming off the bench. So he makes about 50k as soon as he walks on the field. So I guess if we split the difference and say he's going to make 80k this week, and if you wanted to hold another week, it might sort of be another 20 to 30. So is a trade, an extra trade, worth that 100k to you? And that's something I'm debating internally, and we'll sort of tease that out in a second. But I guess I can understand people doing it, but long term, it's not a great trading. Ronaldo Mulatalo at number 5. So I think maybe people just reacting to 2 big scores. Playing the Tigers this week as well, which is attractive. I just noticed he is the highest scoring player in the game after 2 rounds. He won't score 100 every week. So chances are, that the downturn is going to be sooner rather than later. So again, people might be just trying to do quick cash grabs. Okay, that's fair enough, but I think there's better options to trade in the centres above him this week. Ryan Pappenhausen at number 6. So I guess people getting on to get the price rise from that big 100 score. What was it? I can't remember off the top of my head. 132 last week. So I've had him from the start, so I can't begrudge anyone bringing him in. And I think with the fullbacks, you've got to sort of you probably need to have a few trades in reserve for just hitting. When the fullbacks have that hot hand, because it is such a powerful scoring position. And if someone's in form, then you need to ride that wave. Josh Curran at number 7. So I guess the perfect sort of sideways, not sideways, but I guess trade in the same price range from Helam Lukey. There probably is other options that we could look at that are a bit cheaper, such as, I guess, if you need to get Morgan Smithies, absolutely get him. Fini Fuiaki, is a good trade in. I just noticed not in the top 10, which I thought he would be. Um, but yeah, Curran's a great option, big minute player, great work rate. That's why, he was hyped up in the preseason. A bit like Terrell May, people just got cold feet not knowing the role, but now we've had two looks. You can bring him in if he is your, I guess, priority in the second row. Xavier Savage at number 8. So I think this is a better trade in than Ronaldo. I guess a lot of the similar issues about inconsistent scoring and like a low base, but he's going to have more value because he's 300k cheaper than Ronaldo. So I'd go with Savage over Mulatalo, but I'd probably still look at the likes of a Terrell May somewhere in the middle if you are looking to trade in the centre wing. Luke Metcalf at number 9, so I do like him as a 5/8 option. Um, I guess having committed to Dylan Brown and sort of, I guess, the emergence of Lockie Galvin sort of makes it hard for me to get Metcalf in. But if I had tried a bit of a, like a two cheapy strategy with like a Flanagan and Strange, something like that. I think Metcalf would be that perfect stepping stone to get us up to Dylan Brown or obviously once he's back from injury, Cam Munster. And Chad Townsend at number 10. So I think this is a trap. I talked about in the Tops, Chops, Traps and Slaps video yesterday that he's never really been super coach relevant. He doesn't kick goals. He has been involved in a lot of the tries from the Cowboys this week, but I can see some people maybe seeing, they've got an okay run the next couple of weeks, but, the fixture does turn, and then, you're probably not going to have that much value out of Townsend, and you're going to want to look to move him on. So, um, the Cowboys have a great run in terms of no buys, but I think there's other avenues to get on the new North Queensland attack than Townsend. So onto the trade outs. Hill and Lukey at number 1 makes sense. Out with I think it was ankle, but is having surgery on it, so it'll be about 6 weeks. So get rid of him. Kalen Ponga at number 2. So I guess this is in line with what we talked about with Pappenhausen and sort of getting on the players that are in form. So, once Ponga starts showing some form, his price will dip enough that we can probably, make that move comfortably. But I think if you go to any other fullback, you're going to pocket some cash. So I think trading out Ponga, this is the week to do it. So you stick or twist depending on your preference. Payne Haas at number 3. So I guess news come out that he's having surgery on his knee injury. So he's about a 6 week delay. So I think you can absolutely, trade him out. That's a lot of money to sit on the bench for 6 weeks. If you haven't got May, perfect sort of trade and, pocket 300k to fix up elsewhere. You could just switch to like a Tino or something like that if you wanted to keep, a big front rower. There are definitely some options around trading out Pat Haas. Ezra Mam at number 4, again, I think, massive break even, super inconsistent. Playing Penrith this week in particular, he is going to leak a lot of cash. So, if you can get Metcalf or Brooks, obviously you could just go to Galvin a week early and, use that 300k elsewhere. It probably all depends on who your second 5/8 option is. Danny Levi, so a lot of people, this trade would be going to Lussick, but Levi will make some money in his own right. So um, I guess like I'm probably going to make this move this week, and it's based on the fact I've also got Harry Grant. I think you know if you've got Grant and Levi, Levi's the one to go. I think maybe Coruscant as a keeper would be the other one that you would hold. particularly if you sort of had him through the bye in the first round. But other than that, if you've got any other sort of hooker as your keeper, um, I'd probably look at bringing in Lussick and, run Lussick and Levi, make that cash, and then you can switch back to that sort of cut price keeper option that you've got at a later date. Sebo Wong at number 6, obviously out of the team, so yeah, I think that's an easy cut. Farmer silly, so I guess the only issue is who do you trade him to? There's not a lot of value on the table. I guess if you don't have Hughes or Henry, that would be the obvious swap. If you've got the money to go up to May, so you're trading out of say Ezra Mam down to Galvin, that would free up the money to upgrade Farmasili to Terrell May. That would be excellent. Um, but yeah, so I guess if you've got one of those options, good. If not, you may just have to hold him. Like I'd imagine you could get one of Hughes or Henry. If you've got Farmasili, you wouldn't really be carrying the three cheapies. I wouldn't have thought. Um, Mitchell Moses. So I guess if you've got him as your halfback, I'd probably hold. You brought him in for a reason. Um, he might leak some cash, but I don't know who you're trading to. If you're going Moses to Townsend or something, that's a dumb move. Just reverse that trade. Find the money somewhere else to do your other moves. Yeah, I don't. I think he's one that shouldn't be on this list. Brendan Hands, yep, absolutely. A lot of people probably flicking Hands now. He's completely out to Lussick. Could even go down to Levi if you need to. Actually, I think Lussick is cheaper. It'd be here somewhere, yeah. So I guess you actually make money from trading Hands to Lussick, which is pretty crazy, but good move. And Brandon Smith, as I said, he's sort of that middling price. He's not going to get out of control. Bring in Lussick, and he'll probably get up to about that 470K in the next few weeks. And then if you really want Brandon Smith, you can probably get him back in quite easily. So that were the trades. In terms of captaincy, we'll still go with all the coaches. So most popular captain this week is Nathan Cleary. So maybe still a hangover from last week where he had the later game. Um, against the Broncos, I think it's going to be a good matchup. He went all right in the grand final, I suppose. But yeah, I guess you would want to VC him ideally and get sort of two cracks at the captaincy. But I do know some people do like the strategy of locking in the captain early, and if they go well, then their opposition will tend to panic and do that. It's probably more of a head-to-head move if you're being realistic. But yeah, Clear is always a captaincy option, so that's fine. But I think Nico Hines is probably the preferred captaincy choice. The Tigers didn't look overly amazing defensively against the Raiders, so someone like Nico Hines could do a bit of damage against them. Obviously, if you're VCing Cleary, that sort of precludes you from captaining Hines. So again, it's probably, whichever halfback you want and you've got, you probably captain. Tommy Turbo, playing against Parramatta. I forget what time their game is, but if it's in the daytime, it's always a benefit for someone like Turbo. So I think a good shout. Pappenhausen in the last game against Newcastle. So might be people trying to have a look at Hines as a VC option, maybe. Um, I mean, yeah, it could work, but Newcastle at home are a bit of a different beast, so probably wouldn't have thought the strongest shout. Ponga against Melbourne, so Melbourne, probably one of the better defensive teams going around. Newcastle not in the best sort of form. They have replaced their halfback this week, so I guess those that are sticking fat with him probably makes sense to captain him, particularly in the last game. I've got the VC on him, but that's just because I haven't done my moves for this week for the video. So, that 5.5 won't include me after this video. Reece Walsh, so kicking goals against Penrith with Adam Reynolds out. So, I don't mind this. I think he's the perfect sort of VC option if you've got him. Reece Walsh in behinds would be the mint in terms of, if I could have anyone in my team this week, but it's not quite how Supercoach works, unfortunately. And then Big Tino against the Bulldogs. The Bulldogs aren't the biggest middle forward pack in the world. Someone like Big Tino could do a bit of damage against them, so I don't hate that pick. Ronaldo, so this is really gutsy. Um, like I said, I'm backing him to not continue scoring tries. Happy to be proven wrong as usual, but yeah, you got bigger stones than me if you're captaining Ronaldo. Latrell, he's always in that sort of conversation, averaging 95 this season. Um, so yeah, I can understand that pick. And Val Holmes against the Dragons, he's the goal kicker. He's the one that has all that potential for upside with tries and try assists, not Chad Townsend. So drink water as well. I guess if you're looking at a captain in that game, and then paint Haas, these people just obviously haven't done their trades yet. VC options, well, we've covered most of them. I won't double dip. Fanua Blake is an interesting one against the Raiders. I'm not sure exactly when they play and if that's going to involve, some potential loop or if that's just a hangover from people last week VCing him. But, crazier things have happened. Harry Grant's always in that conversation too. Although in the last game, probably not a viable VC option. He would be your safe captain option after VCing, a bit more of an upside type pick. So I guess with all that considered, the trades this week. So um, this might be, I guess, a symptom of my terrible sort of rank after round one. But I'm going pretty aggressive with the trades this week, and particularly in the first sort of few weeks, it's all about value. So when I talked in the buy planner video earlier in the preseason, I sort of chunked the season up into four sections. You've got the early rounds, the pre-origin rounds, or upgrade season, I called it. Like obviously the origin period, and then the run home. So in this first sort of six rounds, the goal is to generate as much value as we can. So I'm happy to use a few trades. I sort of had booked in 7 trades across the first 3 trading weeks up to round four. And, I might use a couple more in round 5 and 6. Might even, try to start upgrading early if possible, if, this aggressive value generation pays off. And then, wanting to use those trades into Origin to upgrade as well as sort of start the plan for that first sort of buy round. And then through Origin, try to conserve some trades but be very strategic with it. And then obviously get to that final team as quickly as possible. Preferably sort of by the third Origin game, but definitely in time for the majority of that run home. So, with that in mind, I am one of the people that is going to trade out Levi to bring in Joey Lussick. And I guess the method for me to make that 70k that I need is to trade out Ponga. And I'm bringing in Tedesco. So, if I just go back, I can bring in Latrell, um, who I guess in my initial sort of thoughts, I had him and Ponga as the top two across the season. He kicks goals. It's just I think Souths are a bit out of sorts at the moment, whereas Tedesco and the Roosters are looking a bit better. So could also go Reece Walsh, I suppose, um, but Tedesco also offers that bit of extra value. So at 700k, I'm making 80k on Latrell, making 100k on Reece Walsh. So again, we're all about the value of the team. So that gives us 117k. We're definitely using a boost this round with Hylam Lukey. And so then this is the debate I'm having. I'm obviously, pretty keen on getting Fini Filiaki in. I think as a straight swap and his value to, creating other positions in the team, or improving other positions in the team, I should say, is going to be really great. But we do also have Zach Hosking, who, he does have the negative 56 break even. As I said, I'm projecting he'll make about 80k this week. Whereas with Fini Filiaki, if I can find him, there he is. So, he's projected to 27. So, I think it's going to be closer to 50, um, is what I'm predicting. So, he'll make 20, 25k, maybe 30 with a bit of luck. All right. So, Hoskins will make an extra 50k. And then, next week I can decide, or probably I'm thinking it'll be a decision to just trade Hosking out straight to Fini Filiaki. So it's going to cost me two trades, but it is going to make me an extra 15k. That 24 that he's got in his average will roll out. Um, and then, I think that's when we're going to be able to, utilize him in our team. So I understand that it might be, a waste of a trade potentially, but I'm banking on the value being generated being worth it. So I'm going to bring Hosking in this week, um, and then I guess when I put my team together, it's going to be even more crazy that he won't actually feature in the 17th. So um, going to have Lussick for sure. Cleary and Pappenhausen locked in, and Smithies. Um, so if we have a look at the matchups. So we've got the Bulldogs against the Titans. So I definitely want Kickow, definitely want Curran, Piakora against Penrith. I mean, I'm expecting that sort of 48 score. Um, but we do want Smithies as well, so I'm going to swap him with what Curran will do. Because I guess, Brisbane and the Raiders play the first two games. So if there's a late out with the Dogs, I can always bring in Joe Chan as the backup, or I might find another option on my bench. And then the centre wing, so um, the Warriors against the Raiders. So I think we do want to bring in Tua Picky, um, but Salmon against the Titans. I think there might be some attacking stats in this game for Salmon. It's just purely gut feel. Obviously, Turbo against Manly playing on the edge, he's pretty much locked in. So I think it might be Ethan Strange. Having travelled to New Zealand, um, I think that's the way we're going to go. And so then VC and C. So obviously the C is on Hines, um, but then in terms of a VC option, we don't really have a Penrith option. I guess it could be like an RTS against the Raiders. Could work. Yeah, I guess could go to Desco. Playing Friday night. Yeah, maybe to Desco against Souths, I think might be the option. Because if we have a look, RTS is in 41% of teams, whereas Tedesco is in 5%. And, oh, that's right, I can't see it on that list. I forget where he was in terms of the trades. But yeah, definitely more of a point of difference option if he does go off against Souths. And, that's what we sort of want with that VC option. So that's the team and how it's going to sit going into round three. I did say I was going to preview the matchups this week. So um, shout out to Serenity Now, got in touch on the YouTube video to say that we're on this week. Have a look at their team, missing a few. What's happened there? So no Siwa Wong, no Lukey, no Hammer. So I guess maybe trading out Lukey, trading out perhaps Wong. Don't trade out the Hammer. He'll come good. But I guess, looking at the team he's got, Taylor May, which is not ideal for me. Coruscant, I think, is a pretty good pod shout at hooker, but I'll back Grandin over him. Got Tommy Turbo, which is always scary when you're up against him, particularly if he does leave the C on. That could be anything. And, if Ponga does come good, well, then I'm going to feel pretty silly. So, be interesting to see, who comes in. Got Galvin at 5'8". Interesting. Cool. So that's the first league. If I go back to my matchups, we have Sexaton, fantastic team name there, Lisa, in the second league. Hopefully a Bulldogs fan as well, but maybe just a fan of sex. Who knows? But again, another one with Tommy Turbo. So Ruben Garrick as well. Be interesting to see. Oh, so it's very manly heavy DCE as well. So I might tip Para and hopefully that goes well for me. But also has Nikora, Marzu, and who's the other one? Bostock on the bye. So would definitely be trading Marzu. He's another one that's gone for a surgery. So that could be anyone in the centre wing. Um, yeah, not too much cover on the bench, so maybe some trading going on there. But Nicker is only 2 weeks, so if you can hold him, I would highly recommend that. And then the third matchup, why am I trying to give advice to people I'm playing against it head to head? The Duke, nice, I like it. Reece Walsh, yep, so he's one I'm very concerned about. Although, you know, Penrith looked a lot better last week than they did in the first week. Um, got Kotrick as captain. Obviously, that won't be the case this week, given he's playing. Bryce Cartwright's a bit of a scary point of difference. Zach Lomax and Ben Hunt, I'm not so scared of after the game against the Dolphins. And Crossland, I don't mind as a little pod option, but Brayley is back, so it'll be interesting to see how they coexist in the Knights team. But got Payne Haas, unfortunately, and Lukey, so a couple of trades on this week to fix them. So it'll be interesting to see who I land against in that matchup. I think that's the sort of head to head stuff. If I quickly go to drafts, so the team for this week, I've brought in May for King. Crossland obviously covering for Marshall King this week. Picked up Adam Elliott on the waiver wire, so dumped Sean Bloor basically, but a nice little upgrade there. Um, Cleary Metcalf still there, so going with the Bulldogs and Warriors connection in the centre wing and Tedesco Pappenhausen. So I've basically gone with Tedesco as VC as well. Cleary as captain. I could probably flip that around actually. Have two cracks at it. And yeah, use Dylan Lucas as my loophole, or even could use Marshall King as the loophole, I suppose. Um, yeah, I've had a couple of trade requests for, I guess, a fullback because I do have the two gun fullbacks, but might just make this public that they're not leaving my team anytime soon, unless there's like something substantial on the table. I've got a couple of maybe joke trade offers, um, but if they were serious, I'll just let you know now they're probably a joke. But I got Shano this week. He's very active on the channel, so pretty good team too. He's got Tohu, Tarpany in the forward pack. Couple of Roosters could go all right against Souths. He's got Curran and Cotter, so definitely some nice base there. Coruscant and Tommy Turbo as captain. Again that's the scary one. So he's definitely one I'll be hoping and praying doesn't go so well this week. But I know there's a lot of people that will be hoping he does well. So um, it's got Payne Haas. So it'll be interesting to see if any trade offers are on the table surrounding him. But yeah, that's the sort of preview for this week. Um, Obviously, if you've got any comments, thoughts, questions, opinions, feel free to get them in the comment section below this video. Just go back to the classic team one last time. So Lussick, Hosking, and Tedesco are the new names this week. Um, yeah, obviously, if you enjoy the SuperCoach stuff, give the video a like, subscribe for all the fantasy sports content we've got on the channel. And other than that, we'll catch you in the next one.